Hi, everyone. Welcome to this class on Purusha Sukta. We are looking at the text. We chant first. So I'll just start with the chanting. I'll share onto screen and you can chant at your end. So we'll start with the Shanti part. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Vidyam Karvavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आन शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So we just chant the Purusha Sukta. तस्मादश्वा अजायन्त ये केचो भयादतः गावो जग्निरे तस्मात् तस्माज्जाता अजावयः यत्पुरुषं व्यददुः कतिधा व्यकल्पयन् मुखं किमस्य को बाहुः कावूरूपादावुच्येते ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराचन्यकृतः ऊरु तदस्य यद्वैश्यः पद्भ्यागम शूद्रो अजायत चंद्रमा मनसो जातः चक्षो सूर्यो अजायत मुखादिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च प्राणाद्वायुरजायत नाभ्या आसीत् अंतरिक्षं शीष्णोऽध्यो समवर्तत पद्भ्यां भूमिर्दिशश्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागम अकल्पयन्. So we are looking at this Purusha as Samaj Purusha, as the society. So here the society part is mentioned, Brahmanos Mukhamasid, Bahu Rajanyakritah, and so on. So this we'll look at today. We have been trying to understand the structure of society, which has been aligned according to the Vedic rules and principles. This was decided by the Vedic rishis. So accordingly, they realized from the laws of nature that everyone has a particular inclination. Everyone has a particular penchant or choice of what work they like to do. So someone is knowledge oriented, someone is artistically, creatively oriented, someone is oriented towards doing hard work, someone is oriented towards maybe defending the country and all, being of more Rajasic nature. So according to the gunas, they qualified the nature has created different kinds of people, and accordingly they must be assigned duties. And also they realize that these duties are also to be given to a person. So when that person is born in a certain family, usually that family nature runs in the children also, because they have two benefits. One is the varna, the family that he is born in, that same varna will we naturally have a chance, just like we teach a child any language. Whatever language we teach that child, that child will learn that language, right? So accordingly, every person, every one has an inclination towards a certain activity. So they find that the parents will be guiding the children. Second thing was that in addition to the activities that child does that are related to his levels of sattva, rajas, and tamas, in addition, there is a jati. There are different families who follow different professions. So according to those professions, they are given a, you can say, head start. So someone is born into a family of potters. So they would similarly get the chance to follow that lineage and improve upon that family's craftsmanship that they have been following so far. Right. In this way, the arts and crafts developed in very lean, very beautiful fashion. So that was the basis of our society. So because of this basis, society stuck together. So we were discussing in the earlier class about this concept, the Vedic concept of Samaj Purusha as the regulator of society, right? Because all these are divine laws. No one can change. Yeah? The society might decay and stop accepting these qualities, but that does not mean that some person who has a quality to be a Brahman will not have that quality. Everyone has a certain quality, and according to that, if the duties can be assigned, that is the success. That is the success of a society. If it doesn't do that, it will go down. It will go down. So the society must recognize in whatever manner the talent of a person and accordingly allow that person to apply that talent. Right. So this is a very important aspect. And look, we are all connected to our society, and that is what supports us. The society supports us, so we should also similarly support society. So to describe this, Shruti resorts to the question answer format, to the question Mukham Kimasya Bahu, right? In this Purusha Sukta. So here, the holder of this yajna is who? The holder of the yajna is Prajapati. And he is also the holder of the Samaj. Prajapati is the holder of the Samaj. As that Samaj or that society is also a form of yajna, a form of that sacrifice or surrender by which everyone takes on duties that they do towards the society, and in return they get back the support of the society. That is yajna bhav. No, you give more to the people around you, the more you get back. So you can apply it to the individual level, you can apply it to the level of society, you can apply it to the level of a bigger, village or city or the nation and so on. So the larger levels you apply it to, the more higher the benefits you will get. And you will get similarly, the more you give, you will be given higher responsibilities, right? So like I say again and again, that with the more responsibilities you give, you take up, the more power you will be given. Someone who does more of his duties, the more that person will have, he will be given more power, right? So everyone is not willing up to take up these responsibilities, right? So we have to form that structure so that the society can grow. But right now, we are suffering in this aspect. It was much worse earlier, but now we have improved. But yes, there is still a lot of work to be done at the level of the society. So in the world, we say a lot of people, we call that as Samaj, a lot of people. But a lot of people think that just being together as a crowd, the crowd of people, that is also a Samaj. But crowd is not Samaj. That we have to remember. Crowd is not the Samaj. Because this is a matter of very serious thought. Because the real meaning of society is what? It's the real meaning of society is where a group of people follow a common goal or set of principles. Right? Meaning of society is group of people follow a common goal or set of principles. A crowd is not the Samaj. And when our people here, the Hindus, have forgotten this, their Samaj has not remained a Samaj. It has become a crowd only. So our country and our family also are no longer progressing. It has recently, when we have felt that maybe some attacks are there on a society, then only we are going back to study it, and that then only we are able to do something good for us. So I am very, very positive about how the modern generation has taken up their responsibility. And I'm sure we will get back to that Samaj that is envisioned by the Purusha Sukta, right? But right now, a lot of work needs to be done. So, because still there are a lot of fault lines. There are what we call foreign invasive ideologies have come here, and they have fault lines have been created in different levels. In different levels and different ways, people are being divided. So it is up to us. It is up to us, the people, to not get deluded by fault lines, such attacks also, and also for the intelligent ones among us who understand what is going on, to make the ones who are not that intellectually inclined to be aware. To be aware, we need to stay united, right? United in the sense of doing something good for the society and the nation. So therefore, we have to have a coherent, synchronized way of living. That is this Samaj Purusha that this Sukta is talking about. Right. So right now, what happens? One person wants to go east, one wants to go west. So both together they call themselves as one Samaj, but end up going in neither direction. So before independence or even earlier, there was a strict rules in the society. So if the son of the Brahmin ate something that was not prescribed for him, some food or whatever, then it was said that he has left his Brahmanatva vision. He has departed from the Brahmanatva vision. And therefore, he was no longer considered part of the Brahman Samaj. समाज से निकाल देते थे उसको. He was turned out of the samaj. So most people even turned that person out of their homes. So if somehow even the parents didn't do the right thing, then the panchayat would get together, the village would get together, and they would turn him out, so that no one dares to upset this system of society. I'm not talking about someone wanting to go into a different profession. That is different thing altogether. But we are born into a samaj when we have assigned certain duties to us. While doing that, we can also follow our favorite profession or job. We might feel that, like, if a Brahman son is not doing the puja part and he's doing a different kind of activity, then actually by mental proclivity, he is not a Brahmin. So he is allowed to do that also. But that rarely happened in the earlier days. Right now it is happening because we have mixed up our the breeding, and all mixed marriages are there. So how can you say the son of a Brahmin is a Brahmin when in his lineages there are so many mixtures? So therefore today we have to look at the person individually as to what kind of mindset that person has, and then accordingly consider him. So today a person who is technically born to what we may call a Shudra family may be a Brahmin. So we have to be prepared to accept that also. Right? So earlier what happened? The strictness helped the Samaj stay in a certain direction. And that is necessary. But right now it is not so. But in that time, what would happen is that even if the parents didn't do the right thing and their son was doing something that was not according to the Samaj. Look, Samaj is not just something that he is a Brahmin. The Samaj is all Varnas. So all Varnas have their duties. If someone is not doing their duty or someone is disrupting the Samaj, then he is considered as not part of the Samaj. So therefore, the paths that in those times, if they diverge, the person was turned away, so that the person would learn to be true to the job or proclivity that he is being handed. So as I said again, be it Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, together they form Samaj. All had a common goal. All where there was a division of duties among them. And that is why they were one Samaj. So today the Samaj is there, but that is not that same Samaj. So today we will have to sadly call it a crowd. So in those times, even if a person was not doing the right thing, so they would go to a teacher or a Mahatma, and he would guide them. But today, if people go to Mahatma and ask, our son doesn't follow dharma, so what do we do? So he will say, do you want the right answer, or do you want what you want to hear? So if the right answer is, you tweak his ears and turn him out of the house. But the parents, they won't do that today. They want to remain in the crowd. They want to remain in the crowd and not make it a Samaj. So the components of a crowd don't have one motive. As a result, neither parents nor children can reach their goal. A goal is not aligned. So the son wants to drink wine and have fun, but he is afraid of his parents. So he is also not able to do what he wants. Parents also cannot do what they wish, as they want to wake up early. They want to do puja and japa as prescribed by the Samaj together with the whole family. No, you can't do puja and japa alone. It's supposed to be done together by all of them, even if in different rooms. So therefore, how will the son join them when he comes home at 1 a.m. in the morning? So this is the imbalance of today's Samaj. People give excuses, but all this is what we call moha. Moha, or it is the attachment towards the crowd. They feel safe in numbers, even if the numbers are purposeless. So therefore, we have to be willing to treat the disease. If there is a boil on your skin, it is hard at the top, but inside it is infected. The doctor will tell you you have to cut it and take out the pus, and then only it can be healed. But you are afraid, you want to wait, hoping it will heal. It won't heal. In this way, Samaj is also not healing right now. It is dragging along, but not going into the right direction. So, be it the house or the country, an infected wound is forming. We have to let. So, we have now let the Samaj decay and made it into a crowd where all are opposing each other over petty differences, right? So many things happen. Like there was once, at the time, just after independence, the Bank of England was still functioning in India. So they had a branch in Delhi. So what happened is there were three workers who didn't do any work at all. They just lazed around all day. And so what happened? The management saw this. They were given warnings and all. Ultimately, when they refused to obey, they were sacked, let out of the job. And what happened to these guys? They filed a case against the bank. So the case dragged again on and on for 7 years. And at the end of it, they won the case and they had to be reinstated. So now the bank is forced to take them back. So what it did was they set up three chairs in a corner of the room and asked them to sit there all day and were not given any work. So they begged for work, and in the end, what happened is they got fed up and they complained to the labor commissioner that this is how they are treating. So the labor commissioner called the bank manager and asked that why are you not giving these guys work? They are on your payroll, and they have legally won the case also. So the manager of the bank said that whether they are fit to work or not, it cannot be decided by you, or it cannot be decided by even the Prime Minister of India. We have to make them work, and whether they are fit to work can be decided by us only. Your law decided that when we have given someone a job, then he can't be removed. So once he's given a job, he can't be removed. So we think that just like we pay taxes, we will consider the salary of these three people as a tax also. We are running a bag, so we will make only the efficient employees do the job. So we will give work only to those who know how to work. We won't give them work, but continue paying their salary. And this continued till another couple of years, 2 years, and then they shut down the bank. So because they said that in a country where the owner can't decide if he's fit to work, then the bank should better leave that country. So the Samaj has to create good working conditions for people, as well as a system that is fair to all. You just can't ignore the person who is managing the companies and treat him like a criminal. So that is why a lot of people left in those times. It took a different government later times to change things around. So this is the same thing we are doing with reservation also and appeasement also, both things. We are giving jobs to the undeserving. So what will they do? They will hang around all day doing nothing, and they will collect the salary at the end of the month. This is called herd mentality. The government wants to keep people busy fighting over resources. So those who are capable, they will be fighting, while those who are incapable are they are given freebies. So the government does just so that they will get their votes. They will keep ruling. So just like in the old times, if you see some of the Indian serials, the Saas Bahu serials, the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. So the mother-in-law was shown as a very domineering person who would always keep some kind of quarrel alive in the family so that she would get attention. And then what happened is in the old age, she got ignored. Same way, the politicians are also creating rifts among the common people over non-issues. That is the sole focus of politicians. Politicians are not being taught statecraft. There is no education for them. There is no way they learn how to properly run a country. They only come to the power by populist promises. Right? So maybe I'm talking too much politics today, but this is all related to the Samaj thing that we are going to discuss. So one day people will understand that we are made to fight each other uselessly. Then they will stop fighting and the politicians won't be able to control. we have to ensure that politicians are not able to control us. So if government is having good intentions and we fall prey to others who want to get back in power, then it is even worse. So therefore, Samaj is that where both quarreling parties are taught the motive for which they should be working for. Uh, any Samaj, there might happen some kind of discrepancies, quarrels, whatever. So the persons who are in charge of the Samaj, they have to ensure that this quarreling stops. This quarreling stops. So this is how the Samaj has to be handled. So these are all Vedic rules that we have to apply to our current situation or whatever situation comes in our life so that things work smoothly, right? So like in a house also it happens, no? A house is a house where the mother-in-law tries to best to make peace between both daughters-in-law, or daughter-in-law and the daughter. And same way the father is one who tries to invoke love between both brothers. That is a home. If they try to create rifts, then it isn't a home. Same way in the Samaj also. The politicians should not try to create strife. Therefore, that's why we say right now the Samaj needs a lot of work to be done today. Right. And same thing applies to all over the world. Not just I'm talking about India, but wherever you can apply it, you can apply to all over the world. Samaj needs the government to be working in that positive manner. So now why is Shruti describing this Samaj Purusha here? So just like there is one Purusha, we need to unite. So the Purusha is one, he has hands, eyes, feet. The hands and eyes and feet are not fighting each other. No, they are all part of the same body. They are all part of the same body. And if they start fighting each other, who will they destroy? They will destroy each other. That is why in this Shruti, the Brahmanasya Mukhamasi, the Brahman is a Mukha. So all are described as parts of the body, not as someone higher or lower. Very, very carefully, we have to always remember, some people make this wild accusation. They are being shown as part of one body that need to unite and work together and move together. If they don't work and move together, then they will end up getting in the way of each other and hurting each other. Right. So that is why Shruti is presenting this Samaj Purusha as one body, and parts of the different body are the different people, the different beings in this creation, right? So therefore it is teaching us how we need to unite. The hands, eyes, feet, etc. They don't fight each other. So we need to be like one body and all the organs functioning in synchronized manner. That is the Vedic Samaj Vyavastha. What we call Hindu Samaj today has been split by other foreign religions and ideologies. So they are all foreign ideologies. They are not applicable here. We have to learn that. We are always trying to, match our goals according to their systems or their desires. We don't need that. Right? So all these foreigners, they have education from maybe Arabian countries or the Philistines or Russia and so on. In the first 1,000 years, they broke up the Varna Vyavastha. They broke it up. Now it no longer exists in its proper form. But if you think about this system and its merits and don't use today's order, then it will be harmful for us in the long run. So in 1,000 years, so much has changed. So today we like a lot of foreign things. Our constitution is also made up on Western lines. Our constitution is not at all an Indian constitution. We have so many Dharma Shastras that can guide us to create a constitution that is proper for India. But where have we taken our constitution from? The constitutions of America, the constitution of Australia, and all other, England and other similarly European constitutions. So it is good to learn from others, but we also have to apply. If you make a study, maximum number of laws are not applicable to our society. So that is why we need to have a constitution also based on what our need is. A proper Hindu perspective wasn't even considered. Ours is a very ancient country. So even by conservative estimates, we have a history that is stretching to 10,000 years. Conservative, I'm saying. But our Shastras count more than 100 times that number. So did anyone consider what they did? Today, people don't accept the Vedic Samaj Vyavastha. So, some people say Plato introduced the Varna Vyavastha. From his works, you can gather that. So that is so far from truth. His was not even a pale shadow of our Varna Vyavastha. Foreign versions they don't have this kind of coherence and unity. The system that survived 50 years, like communism, and then collapsed, it can't be held as an ideal. Today, a lot of people are pushing those ideologies here. Just because some said Russia has progressed so much, and now it is plain to see. Same is being said about China also. They will give examples. The railways are so good, but it is not just about infrastructure. The one Vyavastha which has held us together for thousands of years, and even after its decade, still holding us together. It can't be compared to these systems which are, they are full of raga and dvesha for all sections of society. They are full of hatred, as history has shown. So our Varna Vyavastha is based on love, faith, unity, happiness, harmony. And these are the principles that are applicable to Varna Vyavasthas all over the world. Wherever they follow, these principles are followed in a lot of countries. And where they do that, the society goes along well. They are followed in England, they are followed in US, they are followed a lot of African countries, a lot of other European countries. In parts, they are followed. But where they are not followed, it creates a lot of discrepancy. So that is what our Varna Vyavastha teaches. We are all one body. So we cannot have any kind of animosity towards each other. So this love, faith, and unity are a common principle of our society. It is not one that allows the giving of pain or hatred or sadness or disparity to the people. So our motto and the motto of some other societies that we are trying to follow are different ideals. So like Lenin he's honored as one promoting equality and the uplifter of the downtrodden. But when we say that the son of a Brahmin is a Brahmin, then we are labeled communal and favoritist. A Brahmin was killed saying the son of a snake is a snake. Recent times. So while the Ivan the Terrible in Russia is excuse for killing his own son. So therefore we have to learn to hold on to our Vyavastha and not to copy each other. So even in the communists, there is Jyoti Basu was the leader of the Communist Party in Calcutta. So once he went to Patna. So there was another politician with him. So someone shot from the crowd, and this other politician was killed. I don't remember exactly. I was just looking it up some time back. So you can check online. You can find the name. So instantly, all the comrades they started congratulating Jyoti Basu for escaping. No one spared a thought for the other person killed. No one mourned him. So even news said that another worker died. That is how inhuman it makes the communists. So Ajit Sarkar was his name. Yeah. So the person who died. So can Hindu ethos ever imagine this? We think the person lower or higher, they all are having the same life value. So all these hate promoting systems in turn hate each other too. Ours is meant for peace, and that is how we have to build it back again. Today, we are not maybe sticking to that order. So, our society says one must have Vivek, and whoever has Viveka will be calm and happy. So, Nehru once said earlier that people were peaceful but stupid. So, their peace is the indicator of stupidity. The peaceful people are stupid, is what he said. While violence is the way of the shrewd and the clever. But in our system, we say peace is the quality of an intelligent person here. Our Samaj is built on peace, whereas some others, they are built on violence. The more violence they can create in other countries, the more easily they can rule them. Right. So in this way, we have to also build our Samaj on the lines of what our Purusha Sukta teaches us. So which ideology will win, we can't say for now. But Purusha Sukta has given us a responsibility in its message. The message is that which society you want to bring is your own choice. You can't go one way today and the other way tomorrow. This weakness will hurt us. We have to be firm. Right? So our principle is that if we also have the principle that if some foreign or better ideology comes and proves it that it is better, then we will follow them also. No issues. We have so many other foreign thoughts coming here and we have accepted them and maybe incorporated them into our own systems. But even honestly speaking, once you compare all the systems of the world to our Varna Vyavastha, you will find that ours is way better. Not the wrong way that it is projected as the caste system. The understanding needs to be there of what it actually means. So if we see the application of their systems and see the application of ours, then whichever is better, we are always willing to follow. And we have to take concrete steps. Only writing books or giving talks, they don't build society. It is built after much experimentation and application. So what they did earlier has to be analyzed. So if there are the Purusha Sukta guidelines, what do they say? The Purusha Sukta describes Prajapati himself created this Samaj Purusha. So Adi Purusha to Virat to Yajna to Samaj Purusha. That is the sequence of thought in this. So humans have not created our Samaj. This is the first thing to be understood. And none of the Vedika rishis have said that they sat down and discussed and created the Samaj Vyavastha or Varna Vyavastha. It is not made by humans. It is, we say, Apurushe. Just like we say Veda is Apurushe. So this principle has come from the Veda only. So this is made on the basis of the Yajna Purusha and the basic laws of the universe by Prajapati himself. So there is no founder of Sanatan Dharma. You have to remember. And even Bhagwan Ram and Krishna Bhagwan are not founders. They were born into the Samaj and they followed its laws, even though they were avatars. So, like the father of Christ was not a Christian. Same way for Judaism and same way for Islam. Or Marx and angels. They also made their system with their own intellect. So ours is not made with the intellect of a human being. So the attachments and aversions that they were prone to, they found the way into their systems. All the attachments of the founders of those systems, they found their way into their system. Whereas our Varna Vyavastha wasn't developed by humans. And hence it is Apurusha. I have explained this process, this point earlier also. So that why it is Apurusha, and also that any system that is Apurusha, it is free of the four defects, that is Brahm, Pramad, Vipralipsa, and Karnapato. Because every human will have Brahm. He will have some kind of delusion or some kind of lack of understanding. He will have Pramad. He will be lazy. He will not be able to do everything perfectly. Then he will have Vipralipsa. He will have attraction towards a certain person or idea or people. And then Karnapato. He will have some lack of capabilities because his sense organs are not perfect. But the Vedika principle is that any human will have these four defects. The Apurusha will not have these defects. So what about the human? He will have Brahma or some misconception. He will always miss something due to his laziness or pramad, we said. We all get tired at one point. Huh? So, and he will have a special affection or condition for some people, that is Vipralipsa and Karnapato. So there will always be the defect in the person's instruments. Huh? So, like, if you say it is 5 minutes to 10. So this person is hungry and meal time is at 10, but he will say it is 10 o'clock. And then he will ask his wife how much time it will take. So some emotion will cause this person to make a mistake. He should have said 5 minutes are left, but mind says it will take 5 minutes to set up the meal and sit down. So therefore, for a person who is affected by, say, hunger or any kind of feeling, he will always be restricted by that emotion. So a human cannot make up these laws. So we accept Apurusha Veda as a proof, as a Siddhi, and not some man-made Dharma Granthas. Dharma Granthas are, we have Dharma Granthas. We have Dharma Granthas which are time-bound. We have Dharma Granthas, Manusmriti, Apastam Smriti, and so on. So many hundreds of Smritis. They are all for different times. So they are not applicable now. All of them have some universal principles. They will say that, yes, we have taken our principles from the Veda, but they are also applicable to the people of that time. Right. So therefore, those Smritis have a limitation. So today, if we want to create laws for today, we can take our laws from there There are a lot of general principles and laws we can take from there. But ultimately, we have to consider today's people, situation, etc. So therefore, Dharma Granthas are written by men only. So they can, where do we look for guidance? We look for guidance in the Veda. The Veda will give us the guidance for the principles that are applicable for this time. So we need a rishi or someone who is internally connected to make these laws. But of course, they will not be fully perfect and they will have some shortcomings. But overall, the basic principles that are prescribed by Veda, they will apply, they will always be perfect. So those whose minds are burning with aversion and attachments or raga or dvesha, they say that our Varna Vyavastha was made by Brahmins. And then, if someone asks you, you can answer this way. After that, they say that the whole thing has its roots in Manu. They say Manu Smriti. Then just ask them who was Manu. Just ask them ki Manu kaun the. Then they will know that Manu was a king. He was a Kshatriya king. So one way you are saying the Brahmins have created the Vyavastha, and then you find that Manu Maharaj is being blamed for giving this Manusmriti. Manu Maharaj was a king. So even in the Gita also, even Gita, Bhagwan in Gita says, Vivaswan Manu Praha, Manu Ikshvake Bravid. So there he says that this knowledge was given by Vivaswan to Manu, then Manu to Ikshvaku. So therefore, Manu was the founder of the Ikshvaku dynasty. He was the king. And then when we tell them this fact, these people, they get mad and that we got them in their wrong accusations. So earlier they were blaming Brahmins and now they are taking the name of a Kshatriya. Because their minds are filled with hatred and raga and dvesha, they think our system was also built by someone like them. So now let's come to the text. So here we see that the situation, the Varna Vyavastha is described as firstly in the question answer format. So yad purusham vyadaduhu pratidha vyakalpayan mukham kimasya kimbahu kavuru pada vuchyate. So this format is used because it is easy to understand. It is the format used for all kinds of Upanishads and all the forms where any kind of knowledge is being imparted, right? We encourage the student to ask questions and then the teacher answers them. So today also, people like the kids also like this question answer format for books because they are able to visualize all this, all the things that are coming to their mind, and then they can search for their answers. So in the text also the answer comes next. When Purusha created this Samaj, he brought variety into it. So Brahmanosya Mukhamasit. So here everything is described as oneness within the Purusha. Everything is described as having oneness within the Purusha. This is to teach that in the world, all rules have oneness. All rules have oneness. It is not that there are different sets of rules for animals and different one for humans. In other systems, animals are for the use of humans. They think that animals are sub-breed and they have to be, they are just for the consumption. They don't even have a soul, some of them say. We don't say so. We say all are part of the society. So, if you look at the current genetic studies, then you will find that they will observe that a pure breed dog is considered to be much better, especially like if there is an Alsatian. So after 7 generations of pure breed is considered a very superior quality. Or it's same for horses also. They have those pure bred horses. So they breed them in that same breed is giving birth. So the crossbreeding is not considered good to get those things. So, like for a dog also, that dog will, if it's a higher breed, it is not allowed to mate with a common dog. Similarly, they will also try to improve the breed of the cows also. So now, if you ask them that if they want to improve the breed of animals, then what crime men have done? What crime have men done that they want to destroy its breed? Earlier, we had this system where the breed, pedigree was maintained. But today, not only are they destroying the breed, they are even changing the gender. All are equal, all can marry each other. Humans are meant to be destroyed and made slaves of certain sects of rulers. So we have to uh, see through the people who are doing this and what is their purpose. What is their purpose? They think that if the breed of people improves, then how will we rule over them? These things are done by certain sector of people. They want to control others. So therefore, we have to remember that our ancient systems were not bad. And today, if we ask for them, then though they oppose us. They oppose us. They oppose Varna Vyavastha. We have to remember that our Varna Vyavastha set up a system where people who came in the lineage, they would have those qualities and facilities that are there to a similar breed. So animals can be used to make money. So their breed needs to be improved. Even plants are improved. But if you observe, this genetically modified crops. So they are not good. They are destroying the ecology. So they are also crossbreeds only, no? They are also crossbreeds. So pure breed is good for the or maintenance of system in a society, whereas these crossbreeds are always going to be bad. So the country that has kept the breed of humans pure for thousands of years, today it is called communal because they must be opposed at all costs. This is one system that has to be broken down according to them. So Shruti here says that when Purusha created beings, then he created all breeds separately. All breeds Purusha has created. All breeds Purusha has created. So just like there is a creative desire in the first three forms of Purusha, the same is there in Prajapati also. Those who have heard of the biblical story, it is same copied from the story of Manu also, that the Lord created all the different breeds and then they put them on a ship and they escape the flood. So later on that those same breeds were maintained. So therefore, Shruti says Purusha has created all these breeds separately. So some commentators have taken the Purusha meaning only for the first manifestation of Purusha as the consciousness, the Adi Purusha. Others are taken secondary by them. Some take only the Virat as primary, as he is Upasya. He is to be meditated upon. Or some take Yagya as primary. And some take only the Samaj Purusha. But the bhava of the sukta is not that. The bhava of the sukta or its rishi, who's the rishi? Rishi is Narayana. So that is not to promote one sided view of Purusha. It is the all round view of Purusha that is being mentioned in this sukta. So the purpose of this sukta is to uncover the oneness in every speck of creation. Oneness in every speck of creation. So first question is what? Katidha. Katidha Vyakalpayan. How many parts does this Purusha have? Then what are its mouth and hands? Mukham kimasya Taubahu. What are this Purusha's mouth and hands? And what are its thighs and feet? So that is answered. Brahmano asya mukham asid. And then Bahu Rajanya Kritaha. Then Uru Tadasya Yad Vaishyaha Padbhyagam Shudro Ajayata. So Brahman was born from the Mukham, the mouth. Then the Kshatriyas from the Bahu, from the arms. Then Uru from the thigh. The Vaishya is born. And then Padbhyagam Shudro Ajayata. So Shudra is given a very important job of the feet. Without the feet, the person cannot stand. So before telling about Samaj Purusha, first this form of this Purusha is asked in this question form. This is because man faces two kinds of sorrows. Man faces basically two kinds of sorrows. One is centered around himself. One is centered around our personal sorrows, and other is centered around the society, the problems of the society. But both are experienced simultaneously. Both the sorrows are experienced simultaneously. There is no sorrow that is exclusive to either of them. So when we experience sorrow, the experience of every member of a society is the experience of the society itself, because he is not separate. So when we experience sorrow, it is towards both of them, right? So the cause of every sorrow is partly in oneself and partly in the society or environment. Therefore, we have to understand the cause of the sorrow. Then we have to examine both and know them, and then we have to try solve or both of them. That is the purpose. That is Purusha Sukta is guiding us in telling us about this oneness. So taking any one element is not enough to enumerate the cause of the sorrow. But here, Samaj is primary. So, Sureshwaracharya says, till we know the cause of sorrow, we cannot eliminate it. He says, Sansara Akhya Mahavyade Kim Moolam Iti Chintayet Tad Dhvastaye Chikitseyam Tada Falvati Bhiye. So, whatever this samsara is there, there will be lot of problems in this samsara. So, to solve those problems, we have to go to the root. Kim Moolam Iti Chintayet. Think on what is the root cause of this sorrow. And Tad Dhvastaye. Then destroy the root. Chikitseyam tada falvati bhavet. Then only the samaj will bear fruits. It will bear delicious fruits. So here, this sukta determines that there is a huge sorrow. There is a huge sorrow or mahavyadi by the name of samsara. And there is a small sorrow or disease that goes away on taking medicines. That is called vyadi. Vyadhi and Mahavyadhi. So, like fever, cough, they are they are all Vyadhis. And you have diabetes or these modern illnesses like Parkinson's or even hypertension. They are all Mahavyadhis. They just get suppressed by medicine, but they rise again when the effect wears off. So why is this sansara called a Mahavyadi? If the medicine of samadhi is given, if you go into samadhi, then this sansara goes away, the problems goes away. Because then we are one with Paramatma. And then no sorrow can touch us. When we are in samadhi, no sorrow can touch us. But the moment the samadhi breaks, the pains of samsara comes back rushing. That is why it is called Maha Vyadi. So our prarabdha will make us do a lot of vyavahara. Whatever prarabdha or whatever is going, our fate is going to bring to us, it will make us do a lot of transactions, vyavahara, and they will bring us out of the samadhi. Our prarabdha will always bring us out of the samadhi, and then the sansar vyadhi or the illnesses of the world will come back to us. So to solve this, besides Vedanta, all other systems keep taking the medicine and suppress the illness. Vedanta always wants to go to the root. It says that there is no other solution. You have to go to the root. So some system will say you have to go to Vaikuntha or Goloka. There also there will be peace for some time. But that too is not eternal. So if eternal peace was there, then, if you have heard about the Puranic stories, then there are Jai and Vijay. They were the doorkeepers of this Swarga. But if they would have permanent joy, then they wouldn't need to take birth. But they took birth again. They took the birth of Ravan. They took the birth of Hiranyakshipu, and also they took the birth of Shishupal. So even those who are at the gateways of heaven, they have to come back. So you can do upasana and reach such places, but again you will have to come back here. You have to come back to this samaj. So if you have to find a root cause, says Sureshacharya, find out why it happens. So if you think on why it happens, then you might say what will help. So like if there is a headache, you take some medicine for the headache, aspirin or paracetamol or whatever. Or if there is loose motion, you take an antibiotic like Norflox or Oflox or whatever. And then there is a throat infection. Then you take another different antibiotic like azithromycin and so on. And then the disease will recede. So today what people do, some people, they will say why to go to the doctor and why pay his fees. Today everyone is a doctor these days. They treat on their own. And so when they go to a doctor, they note down the medicine. Next time they take it on their own. But that is not the right way. Doctor tries to find the root of the problem. Doctor tries to find the root of the problem. We say we have a headache. He will say, do you do blood test? You do your stool test, urine test, or even MRI. You say these doctors and techs are all hand in glove. They just make money. But doctor knows that if I give pain medicine, then it will return again. And original malady won't go away. Same way, we have to also understand the root problem of society and destroy that. Destroy the root. So this treatment is to remove the root. So what is Shruti telling us? Shruti is telling about Samad Purusha to find out where the root of these diseases lie. This is the Vedic principle. Suppression is not a cure. Suppression is never a cure. So if we don't reach the root, then we will keep going round and round in circles. Now, someone says, why do you go to work? He says to make money and feed myself. Then again, why do you eat food? He says to be able to have energy to work. And so the cycle continues. A thoughtful person will try to find out why not eating food causes pain. So then only he can solve that problem. So this cycle continues. It is like in all the older cycles, they had a stand, where they would, if I don't know if you've seen that cycle, the bicycle, they had a stand, and it would, when you put on the stand, the rear tire would be raised. And then you keep pedaling, and then you would reach nowhere. So just as in the individual also, same in the samaj also, it is going round and round, but reaches nowhere. We have to learn to solve this cycle of problems so that we can get out of this. So the ultimate moving out is moksha, but right now we have to find the solution with within this within the Samaj Purusha. So what the Samaj, what does our scripture suggest? They say Smritiman Yukti Hetugya Matiman Pratipattiman Vishad Oshad Sanyoge Chikitsam Kartumarati. So if you have to do if you have to treat, if you have to treat the society, then how do you go about treating that society? You have to find the root. So he's taking the example of disease. He's taking the example of the regular disease. So he says, for a doctor, he must be smritiman. He must have a sharp memory, and he should be resourceful. He should be logical. He should be intelligent, and also he should have surrender towards his job. He should be unfazed by criticism and know the medicines and their effects before doing treatment. So therefore, one who only has a good memory will be able to remember the previous experiences. A doctor learns from previous experiences and correlate them with the effects observed. The one who can cure sansar vyadhi also needs the good memory of the experiences of life and what they brought him. So like we have had also many painful experiences, but we keep covering them. So someone who's engrossed in samsara, he will not be able to cure. So he must know his own experiences and those of previous rishis also. That is why we read Itihas and Puran first. We read Itihas Puran. By them we learn the meaning of the core Vedic message, and we can know the experience of early rishis and find a cure. So when one becomes a doctor, he is made to intern under another doctor. Na? So there his memory is strengthened. His memory is strengthened. Experiences are given to him. He is taught how to listen with the stethoscope, and from that particular sound, he is able to diagnose the disease. So this cannot be taught in books. So there no new books are being taught. But what is being taught is how to make the memory strong. So they have read, but now must learn to check the patient and determine his heartbeat, pulse, etc. to find out what causes what. So in Gita, Bhagwan says, Smriti Bhranchat Buddhi Nash. So any society that has lost its memory. So the first rule that society is teaching us to reach to the root is that we must have a smriti of all our previous problems. So whenever the problem arose, we look to solutions within Shastra and also solution within our history and memory at how those problems are solved. Then we can solve those problems in the most effective manner. So it's not that we are going to find one solution fits all. That is, moksha is one solution fits all in where you transcend samsara. But for samsara, what is the first rule? Smriti. I should have knowledge of all the situations that came up before me and how to solve them, right? So therefore, today's education, it won't give you the itihasa of our jati. Check out the book of history today. If you see a book of history today, it has about, say a big one has 1,000 pages. So 350 pages will be of the British history. Then 500, 600 pages will be Mughal history. And then that will leave only about less than 100 pages for our ancient Indian history. That is not taught. The old Puranic history, that is not taught. So there a lot of solutions lie. Lot of solutions lie. So we have to access our smritis so that we can use them to find solutions within our culture. So smriti may be lost, and with it our jati and culture. So today Samaj Purusha has lost his memory, but we have to revive that. So people today, they know Shakespeare or Chaucer or Shelley or Wordsworth, but you ask them who the Indian greats were, who was Bana Bhatt, the one who wrote Kadambari, Harshacharit. They don't know. They haven't even heard. Or who was Umbek? Umbek, the one who wrote Neshkarma Siddhi, later as Suresh Acharya. So then Bhavabhuti. Who was Bhavabhuti? They will not know. This guy who wrote Mahavir Charita or Malai Madhava. So what today's generation, they don't have knowledge of all of these Puranic history or old Smriti. They will have a blank expression if you ask them. They may know Kalidas, but even if they remember Kalidas, what will they remember? That like an idiot, he was cutting the branch or he was sitting on. That much they know. They won't know a line from his works. They won't know a line from Raghuvansham or even the name of the book, Raghuvansham. So this is how a culture is mutilated. So therefore, we have to go back to our principle. Once one day some student asked, who wrote the Gita? So another senior person rose and said, Krishna Bhagwan wrote the Gita. So this is the state of our knowledge. So we have to hold on to our smriti. That is the first law of solving the problems of our society, so that we can establish a connection between old experience and current observations. So just as old smriti, so also the current law and constitution. Right. And then there are other solutions. We will go into that in the next class. So time is up for today. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.